Yo, YouTube, what's up with your boy? Sports and Fitness Rants. I'm back, guys. Click that like button. Subscribe to my channel. What's up, y'all? Welcome back, guys. Welcome back, man. Got another great video for you guys today, as usual, man. You guys know the deal on this channel. It's all about setting the record straight, stopping the lies, stopping the narratives, stopping them from rewriting history, guys. And we're going to set the record straight on LeBron James and his new Nike commercial. Now, once again, shout out to my man Chase Dillard for sending me the clip of LeBron James' new Nike commercial. I don't know when it came out, maybe a couple of weeks ago, maybe a week ago. I don't know. You guys remember he came out with the Forever King commercial, right? The Forever King commercial at the beginning of the season to promote his sneaker. Remember, he went on the Forever King tour to China and bricked up 11 straight shots, right? He had the commercial. We clowned that commercial, right? All the challenge, all the rivals he conquered, right? We laughed about that commercial. There's a bunch of weird, cringy statements in that commercial. Well, LeBron James has a new commercial from Nike, once again to promote his sneaker, right? His latest sneaker. And what LeBron James says, a quote that he says in this commercial, is even worse than the other commercial, or just as bad, guys. We're going to talk about LeBron James and his latest Nike commercial in this video. Once again, promoting his Forever King, him, playing against or, beating Father Time. All this stuff, they celebrate LeBron James and his new sneaker, right? The Forever King stuff. Nonsense, man. And I want to thank you guys, everyone across the world, everyone across states been supporting my channel. Once again, I'm truly humble, guys. You guys support me with the emails, the messages. You guys send me these clips. You send me this information. All this stuff helps the channel, guys. So thank you to all you guys out there. Shout out to everybody in the membership, man. I told you guys, I'm going to do a live later, man. So hopefully, you guys can come through and check it out because we got to talk about some things. And you guys know what to do. Turn the volume all the way up. Hit that play button. Remember, these videos are for educational purposes. And let's roll. So, yes, guys, like I said, shout out to my man Chase Dillard for sending me the clip of LeBron James' newest Nike commercial to promote his lame sneakers. Like I said, his Forever King tour. Remember, LeBron James in year 23? No one's ever done year 23. So what LeBron James is doing is unprecedented, man. Absolutely. Great for LeBron James, I told you. And we all know that LeBron James has been ducking out on games, load managing, right? Standing around on defense, resting and picking his spots for years now so that he can continue to play this many years. Like I said, if LeBron James would have had 10, 11, 12 seasons of 82 games, you don't got to play 82 games every damn year. But if he would have had a majority of his seasons played were 82 games, like I said, 11, 12, 13 of your 23 seasons were 82-game seasons, I would have respected a lot more. This ain't got nothing to do with the championships and the super teams and all of the nonsense. We're talking about the longevity aspect, the Forever King, beating Father Time. I would have respected your longevity. It would have been a lot more legit to me if you would have had more than half of your career playing all 82 games. Then we can look at you and be, yeah, LeBron James was tough, man. He did show toughness out there on the court all of those seasons, battling through the injuries, battling through the pain, battling through personal problems, right? Dealing with this and that. LeBron James went out there every night, showed for the fans. He played with the love of the game. He showed up. That was never LeBron James. He never was that guy. Never once. The man played one 82-game season. That was 2018, guys. Like in the middle of his career. Is anyone impressed with this? No. So that's why we laugh at the Forever King stuff. Your commercials are not applicable to who you are and who you were during your career. I told you guys, the Air Jordan commercials, they were appropriate to Michael Jordan. This Forever King stuff is not accurate. Once again, it's another narrative you're trying to create around LeBron James. The longevity is fraudulent. We called them people up. We checked it out. It wasn't certified. Fraudulent. So like I said, in this latest Nike commercial, right? It's a very quick commercial, 30 seconds or whatever these commercials are. You have a player going up for a layup, and then you have LeBron James flying through the air, rejecting the shot. And during this, whole sequence of slow motion with the symphony music in the background, trying to create an aura around LeBron James on this commercial, LeBron James is quoting this. If there is one thing I learned in 23 seasons, don't be afraid of rejection. It's the greatest teacher of all time. And the commercial ends with LeBron James rejecting this shot in the air. He's jumping in the air, rejecting this player's layup at the rim. And you see LeBron James flying in the air. The thumbnail of this video is that part of the commercial. So let's think about what LeBron James said in the commercial. Because not only are the optics bad, right? Especially, you're showing LeBron James in year 23 playing defense, rejecting somebody. LeBron James doesn't play defense. He hasn't played defense in years. So the commercial in and of itself is inaccurate. It's stupid. It's once again, you're just making up something, promoting LeBron James, jumping in the air, rejecting somebody that we haven't seen LeBron James do like that. Yeah, LeBron James might do a chase down block, but he ain't rejecting people like you do in the commercial right now. That he's on his commercial. And like I said, LeBron James ain't playing defense in years. But you're going to put him playing defense in a commercial? It doesn't make any sense, man. The man hasn't made an all-defensive team in over 10 years. But you're going to have a commercial with him playing defense. And then, like I said, for LeBron James to talk about, quote-unquote, rejection is the greatest teacher of all time. What did you learn from rejection, LeBron James? I'd love to hear this. What did you learn about rejection? Because remember, guys, rejection is another way for them to talk and say failure. So once again, LeBron James says, don't be afraid of failure. That's what he's saying there. Don't be afraid of rejection. LeBron James, you've been afraid of failure. You've been afraid of rejection. Has he not? Pretty sure it has been. Let's think about this now. Has LeBron James ever done a slam dunk contest? Yeah, that's right. We're bringing slam dunk contest up right now. LeBron James never did it, even though he told us on a microphone, what was that, 2013 or something like that? Even though he told us, I'm preliminary putting my name in for slam dunk contest. Remember he told us that Cheryl Miller, he told on the sideline? He said it and then reneged on it. Remember Magic Johnson was going to pay him? He's like, yo, I'll pay LeBron James $1 million to do the slam dunk contest because he understood the importance and the legacy of the slam dunk contest, how important it was. LeBron James still hasn't done one. They're still waiting for LeBron James to do a slam dunk contest. And why didn't LeBron James do a slam dunk contest? Because he was afraid of failure. He was afraid of rejection. That's what LeBron James is afraid of. When they try to laugh at Michael Jordan from competing in the 1990 three-point contest, all you're doing is highlighting Michael Jordan's greatness. He wasn't afraid of rejection, Michael Jordan. He wasn't afraid of failure. So he went out there and competed. He had a good time with it. LeBron James still hasn't went out and had a good time with the slam dunk contest. He couldn't even go out and have a good time and have fun and compete in the slam dunk contest? No, because he's afraid to fail. He's afraid of rejection. But LeBron James is going to tell you in his commercial in year 23, if there's one thing that I've learned in 23 seasons is don't be afraid of rejection. Don't be afraid of rejection. Then why were you, LeBron James? Why have you been afraid of rejection and been afraid of failure your entire career? It's the greatest teacher of all time. Again, I ask you, what have you learned by not doing the slam dunk contest? What did you learn? What did you learn from that? Right? You were afraid of the rejection. You didn't learn anything from that. What you learned is that people don't respect you. That's what you learned. And what you learned is how you destroyed the slam dunk contest because you thought you were bigger than the slam dunk contest. And you didn't think the slam dunk contest was big enough or good enough for you to do. So you thought it was beneath you. When all the other great players, Dr. J, Michael Jordan, Kobe, right? Dominique Wilkins, all the great athletes, all the great players that were high flyers that could do something, they went out there and did something. They showed it. They lived up to the legacy, right? They added to the legacy. Once again, LeBron James still hasn't done that, but he's going to talk about rejection is the greatest teacher of all time when you're not trying to learn from rejection. Let's think about LeBron James and him building up his super team, Miami Heat, and all these other teams that he built up, the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Lakers. Doesn't that seem like LeBron James afraid of rejection? If LeBron James wasn't afraid of rejection or failure, when you were getting rejected, quote-unquote rejected by the Boston Celtics in 2008, or the Orlando Magic in 2009, or the Celtics again in 2010, you would have learned from that rejection. You just said it's the greatest teacher of all time. This is your Nike commercial. You're talking it, but you're not living it. You see what I'm saying? LeBron James all talk, guys. He don't live the words. The words he had in that other commercial, the Forever King commercial, we laughed at that. None of those words were accurate descriptions of LeBron James and his career. None of it was. It was all just lip service. Same thing with this commercial. You're actually going to have LeBron James rejecting somebody at the rim, even though he hasn't played defense in over 10 years. And then you're going to talk about LeBron James not being afraid of rejection. Who are you talking to? Are you talking to the children out there? Are you talking to the kids? You're talking to your fan base, who is a bunch of soft, feminine cowards. You're talking to these kids out there? You were just promoting alcohol for these same children. Now you are here talking about don't be afraid of rejection. Don't be afraid of rejection. Dude, you are the poster child for being afraid of failure. This dude is supposed to be a superstar, right? One of the greatest athletes in the history of mankind, LeBron James. Got the size, all this stuff, yet you're afraid. You're scared all the time to get rejected. I mean, think about LeBron James not wanting to play against Giannis all these years. Right, I saw Too Raw did a video on this. How many years LeBron James been ducking Giannis? You're afraid of rejection. You're afraid to get rejected by Giannis. But you're going to talk in your commercial. Don't be afraid of rejection. He's the greatest teacher of all time. So like I said, when you were losing in 2008, 2009, 2010, instead of learning from that, growing from that, building on that, right, coming back stronger from that, you decide I'm going to take a shortcut. So you didn't learn anything from the rejection. And once again, you didn't want to go through that rejection. Don't be afraid of it, you say, but you were afraid of it. You were afraid to come back in 2011 with the Cavaliers, right? Just like you were afraid to come back with the Miami in 2015. You left those guys. The same way you were afraid to come back to the Cleveland Cavaliers in 2019, right? Went to the Lakers. The same way that you needed Anthony Davis to request a trade to your team. This is what you need because you were afraid to go out there and compete. Right, you were afraid to go to the Miami Heat by yourself, so you had to bring Chris Bosh with you. Right, you were afraid to go to Cleveland by yourself, so you had to bring Kevin Love. You didn't want just Kyrie Irving. You needed Kevin Love. You always need someone to go with you. I told you that's why in 2019 when he went to the Lakers, that was the only time that he went to another team without someone coming with him. And look what happened, a disaster, a complete disaster. Even though he activated playoff mode, nothing happened that season. Still made All-NBA. Weird stuff. But it seemed like you were afraid, LeBron James, in all those years, you were afraid to come back and compete like a true competitor. You've been afraid of rejection. You've been afraid of failure. That's why his commercials are so silly and stupid and doesn't make any sense. It doesn't describe you at all. It's just another lip service commercial that doesn't add up. Back in the day, the commercials actually, had to do with who the player was. Right? Shaq Diesel. Right? You think about it. We talked about this the other day in the commercials and how the players lived up to those commercials because the commercials were based off the players' games and their personalities. LeBron James talking about, if there's one thing I learned in 23 seasons, don't be afraid of rejection. It's the greatest teacher of all time. And then he blocks the ball, and then that's in the commercial with the Nike check. Just do it. LeBron James, 23 years. 23 years, this man has played 182-game season. Hasn't made an all-defensive team in forever. Hasn't made one MVP in his 30s. He's 40 now. The guy never won MVP in his 30s, guys. Not at 31, not at 33, 37. Hasn't won an MVP since he was 28 years old. 28. But you keep talking about forever king. He hasn't been a king in a long time. He was never a legit king. You guys gave him that title. He never earned it. Don't be afraid of it. I'm just so baffled about how this guy can be so, when I talk about lacking self-awareness, guys, that's the definition right here in this commercial. Don't be afraid of rejection. Meanwhile, LeBron James always afraid of rejection, always afraid to do this, afraid to do that, afraid to do a slam dunk contest, afraid to stay on his team and keep competing and try to come back better. He's afraid of all this stuff. He's afraid to be coachable, right? He's afraid to play in his system. He's afraid to play defense. He's afraid to hustle, apparently. I mean, this guy's he's afraid to read books. He's afraid of everything. He's afraid of Dylan Brooks last night. But he's talking about don't be afraid of rejection. Dude, you lived your entire basketball career running away, hiding from failure, running away from the rejection, trying to take shortcuts, trying to always have excuses, never taking accountability, never taking responsibility. That's running away from the rejections, running away from all this stuff, from the leadership, from the burden. I'll tell you, man, these commercials are weird to me. I don't understand this stuff. Who's doing these commercials? Who's coming up with this stuff? Who decided to write that? Someone wrote that out and was like, hey, LeBron, we're going to have you say this in the commercial. It's going to be really cool, man. We're going to have the music in the background. You're going to be flying in slow motion, and you're going to reject the ball, and you're going to talk about how never be afraid of rejection. Never be afraid of rejection, guys. The greatest teacher of all time. Does anyone believe that from LeBron James? Do you believe, looking at LeBron James' career, that he was never afraid of rejection? Remember, it's a code word that they're using instead of failure, right? That's essentially what he's saying. Don't be afraid of failure. It's the greatest teacher of all time, and that's an actual true statement. And that's what the great players use to fuel them. The failure fuels them, right? They're not afraid of the failure. So when they have the failure, that fuels them to come back better, to be better. When Jordan kept failing to the Detroit Pistons, that failure, right, that rejection, that fueled him. That made him come back stronger. It made him better. That wasn't LeBron James' mindset. He didn't think to himself, yeah, I got to come back better to beat Boston in 2008. Or I got to come back better in 2009 or 2010. Right, I got to push these guys. I got to try to get, this guy to be better. And what do I have to do to get these guys better? That's what Michael Jordan did. He's like, what do I have to do to get more out of Scottie Pippen, to get more out of Horace Grant, to get more out of Paxson, Cartwright, Phil Jackson? What do I have to do? I'm the game's best player. I'm the best player on the team. I have to make the sacrifice. The burden is on me. What do I have to do? Michael Jordan figured it out. push these guys, right? Be coachable, help your teammates, and help you. LeBron James won't do this. He hasn't done it. I mean, my God, man, all this failure, all the rejection that you've got in your career, you never learned from it. You never did. You never grew from this stuff. He's telling you it's a great teacher of all time, but what did you learn from this? You keep doing the same thing every single freaking season. LeBron James does the same stuff over and over and over again. Lollygags up and down the court, has a team playing 4-on-5, cherry picks for easy baskets, load manages against the good teams. I mean, come on, man. Never takes accountability or blame, always celebrating himself. It's every year now, for years now. For years. Team struggles, they blame the teammates. LeBron ain't got no help. We've been hearing the same broken record over and over and over and over again, guys. Nothing has changed here. But you're going to come out here with this commercial and talk about rejection is the greatest teacher of all time? With all the rejection, all the losing that you've been doing in your career, damn, you should be a genius right now. Because you should have learned a lot. But you haven't. You still won't sacrifice for your teammates. You still won't sacrifice and play defense or give more effort on the rebounds. You won't work on your leadership. Your IQ is still piss poor. Still turn the ball over at a high level. What have you learned from all of this failure and rejection? 182 game season. Where's LeBron James learned? He's celebrating all these stats. Still hasn't learned that the stats don't matter. No one cares about these freaking stats. What have you learned? All the sweeps in his career. All the losses. What have you learned? Nothing. You're still doing the same things. Year 23. You needed a new coach. Right? Just last year you needed a new coach. 4 coaches in 8 seasons in LA. What have you learned? Still doing the same stuff in year 23. You haven't learned anything. Where's LeBron James' game adapted, molded? Nothing. Still can't shoot free throws. Still can't shoot overall. Still can't dribble the basketball. But I told you, still got piss poor leadership. Still got a BS IQ compared to the way they pump him up. They call LeBron James the smartest basketball player in the history of the game, guys. That man ain't nowhere close to that. Are you kidding me right now? What a lame commercial, man. Shout out to Chase Dillard for sending me this, guys. Remember, don't be afraid of rejection. It's the greatest teacher of all time. Once again, do as I say, not as I do from LeBron James, man. That's LeBron James in a nutshell. That's his commercials. You guys know the deal, man. I'll catch you guys on the next one.